To start custom strategy creation, we go to Pine Editor, and then we click on Open and create new strategy. After that, we are going to use strategy function to specify certain important parameters for this strategy. So let's begin. So first of all, let's set up the strategy name. So this is going to be a custom RSI strategy. So let's name it this way. Custom RSI strategy. Next, overlay. Overlay, we need to set it to false because RSI indicator that we are going to plot is going to be plotted on the pane below where the main chart is. Therefore, this parameter should be false. So next parameter, let's set the default quantity type. Default quantity type we need to set, which will let the strategy know how much we are going to trade per certain transaction, how much from our entire balance. So let's set up that parameter. So default quantity type. Default quantity type, and let's set it up to strategy.percent of equity. Strategy.percent of equity. What it means that for every trading signal, we are going to trade certain percent of available balance in our strategy. Now let's set the default quantity value. What percent of our balance we are going to trade for every trade? For that parameter, for that value, there is another parameter which is called default quantity value. Quantity value, and let it be equal to 100, meaning that 100% of all available balance we are going to trade in every trade. It could be less than 100, of course. Next parameter is initial capital. Initial capital, so let's say $1,000. And we want this strategy, when we backtest it, to produce realistic results. Therefore, we need to consider commissions. And so let's set up the commission parameter. Let's set up commission type. Commission type, let's set up the percent of the trade position. Commission type equal strategy commission percent. And we need to set up what kind of percent. We need to set up commission value. Commission value, let's set it to 0.1. It means that 0.1% will be deducted as a commission per every trade from the transaction amount. Now, let's set up and configure other parameters for this strategy. We use RSI indicator in this strategy. Therefore, we need to specify parameters for our RSI indicator. RSI indicator has following parameters: RSI period and overbought level and oversold level. So let's set up these parameters. First, RSI period. RSI period, it will be obviously period of RSI indicator, and it's gonna be input integer parameter. So input type of int, then we specify the name or title. Title will be RSI period. And also let's specify the default value, which is going to be 14. Next two parameters that we need to set up for RSI indicator in this strategy is RSI oversold and RSI overbought. These are the levels where we are going to trade, buy and sell when RSI reaches this level. This parameter should be configurable because we are going to change them when we optimize the parameters for a certain financial instrument. So RSI oversold. RSI oversold, also it's an integer parameter. Oversold, and default is 30. Usually oversold value for RSI indicator is 30. Now RSI overbought, another parameter. RSI overbought, let's specify the proper title. And proper default value, usually for RSI it's 70. Now we specified the parameters for this RSI indicator that we are going to use. Now let's in our strategy let's calculate the RSI value using these parameters. So RSI value will be equal to, and now let's use the function ta.rsi to calculate our RSI indicator value. TA, it's a namespace for a lot of technical analysis function, dot RSI. Now, in this function, first parameter, source, we're gonna use the close price of the financial instrument. And after that, we need to specify the length, or in other words, period for this RSI calculation. We have a parameter for that, RSI period. Okay, we calculated this RSI value. Next, let's specify the conditions under which we are going to perform the buy trade. So we are going to buy whenever RSI value is below RSI overbought level. So let's do that. If RSI value below RSI oversold, then we are going to enter new position. We are going to buy a financial instrument that we are going to apply this transaction on. To do that, we're going to use the strategy.entry function. After that, as a parameter, we're going to specify ID of this trade. Let's use it by as an ID by string. And after that, we need to specify the direction. Long, short, strategy, dot, long. We're going to go long. We're going to buy whenever this condition is true. Next, when do we sell? We sell when RSI value is above overbought level. Let's copy it to do it faster. Whenever RSI is above overbought level, so then we are going to close RSI.close, and we need to specify the ID of the trade when we bought it. So this is referencing to this trade when we bought it and we close that position. Okay. After that, let's specify and plot the actual RSI indicator. It's going to help us to visualize the trade and verify them. So to do that, let's plot the RSI value on the pane below the main chart. To do that, we're going to use the plot function. Plot, and then we specify series. In this case, it's RSI value. Then plot name, RSI. And after that, let's specify the color. For example, green. Color, green. Okay, so we plotting RSI value, we gave to that plot RSI name, and the color of that plot will be green. Now, also when plotting RSI, we need to plot 3 additional lines usually. The middle line, the overbought line, and the oversold line. So let's plot them. To do that, we're going to use the hline function, which is a horizontal line function. Hline, and after that, we specify first the value at which it's going to be plotted the name. 50 is right in the middle. RSI fluctuates from 0 to 100. 50 is in the middle. First, we draw the middle line. Middle line. Then we could specify the color and we could specify the type of line. So let's do that. Color, middle line, let's set it as gray. And by default it will be dashed, but I want in this plot the middle line to be solid. So let's specify the solid line type. It's gonna be hline. Style, here it is, solid. And let's plot the other 2 lines. So next one will be RSI overbought. Overbought. And so this is our overbought line. And We don't need solid, we need it to be dashed, and the color will be red because it's overbought. We need to sell it usually. And here the last horizontal line will be RSI oversold. Oversold. So let's specify the proper title for that line and the proper color. Color, let's set it, for example, green. Green. Now we finished the main code for this strategy. So let's save it. Customer size strategy will keep the name. Now, after we saved it, let's add it to the chart using this button. Okay. So we added this strategy to the chart, and we can see on the chart buy and sell transactions already, buy and sell trades, right? And we see also these trades over here. They start from 2015 when Ethereum, we trade on Ethereum cryptocurrency when Ethereum first appeared on the market, right? And we have 12 trades. Okay, so what else do we see here? We see on this chart that equity is in green, blue line, how equity performs if you just bought and held it, and drawdowns. Let's remove the drawdowns. We don't need them at the moment. Now, let's say I don't want to optimize this strategy for the entire period from 2015. I want to optimize this strategy on the last 3 years, for example. For that, we would need to add parameters that would limit the dates when we can trade. So let's do that. So we will have a start date, end date, and we are going to trade only, we're going to allow to trade only between this date. So to do that, we're going to need to add another 6 parameters. For start date, it's going to be a start day, month, and year, and for end date, it's going to be 3 another parameters for the day, month, and year for the end date. So let's do that. Start day is going to be, all of them are going to be integer parameter. So input start day input int and so now default value will be 1 for the day, for the date, and the title start day. Start day. So this is the start day. So let's set up another 3 for start month. Month. Let's keep it to 1 and start year. Right? So if you notice what I'm doing often, that I'm copying and pasting part of the text to type faster. In this example, I just selected this text, clicked Ctrl C to copy it, and went in this position and just selected and pasted it. So this way I just type faster. Now we have set up all the parameters of the start date. Now let's do that for the end. So it's going to be almost the same, but with end prefix here. And let's replace this starts for end. Okay. So for the year, we need to set the proper year. So let's set it 2010. And for the end, so let's set it to some future date, 25. Okay. So now we have set all the parameters for the start date and end date. Now let's use these parameters to calculate actually the valid period in order to compare current time in the chart to these parameters. So we need to calculate the timestamp, which is going to be a certain time. That is going to use these parameters. So let's do that. Time start, and we're going to use timestamp function. So this function returns the Unix time of specified date in time. So view it like for a certain date, there is a certain value. And that value is calculated using parameters that we already have set. So it starts from year, then month, then date, right? So then we need to start from this year, then month, then day. And we also need to specify the hour and minute. 0, 0. Time start, time end. The same idea for the end. So we will replace all the starts here for end. And right, so we calculate the start and end. So let's save it. So I just saved it, worked fine, no errors. So let's continue. Now we need to, let's create the function, custom function in this strategy that is going to validate if the current time of the strategy is within the range between time start and time end, which we just calculated, right? So to do that, so let's create the custom function. To create custom function, let's set name of that function. For example, is time enabled? Is time enabled? And then for the function, we use this arrow to specify that this is going to be a function. And then we use the tab, and then we specify the code for that function. So here we'll specify the condition. Current time of the strategy must be more or equal, greater or equal to the time start, and time must be less or equal to time and And if this condition is true, then we are going to return true, otherwise false. So we're going to use this function that when we need to decide in our strategy if we allow the strategy to trade or not. Now, let's use this function and put it over here in this condition. We're going to add additional condition when we allow to trade, when we allow, in this example, to enter a new position. So trade time must be enabled in order for us to allow this strategy to trade. And same over here. When we exit, we will check if time is enabled as well. Let's save it. We saved it. Now, let's check the parameters of the strategy. To check the parameters of the strategy, we go and click on this gear button of our RSI strategy, right? We can see all the parameters are here, and let's just test them. Now, let's take a look at the strategy tester. We have 12 trades, and we see that strategy starts to trade from 2015 and until 2023. So let's change the period of the allowed trades for this strategy. Let's set for example start year 2018. Now we can see that trades started from 2018. So this is an example how to use and how to set up valid range for the trades in the strategy. Okay. Now, let's try to optimize the strategy and to make a better performance for this strategy, for this instrument. What do I mean better performance? I mean that I would expect the strategy to trade with higher profit than if comparing to just buy and hold, right? What does that mean? If you go to performance strategy, let's first reset it to 2010, and let's trade it on entire period whenever this instrument is available, right? If you go to performance summary, we can see that current net profit of this strategy is using the default parameters is only 350%. Buy and hold is 182,000%. So if we can make this strategy trade with the higher return than buy and hold, then it makes sense to trade it. Otherwise, you would rather just buy and hold this financial instrument and without any trading, right? So let's try to change this parameter and see if we can optimize these parameters that way, so the profit of that strategy would be higher than buy and hold return. The blue line here is the, as you see here, is the buy and hold equity. The green line is our equity of our strategy, is how strategy performs, how much money strategy made. Okay, so our goal now is to make the profit, net profit of a strategy, is to make it higher than buy and hold. In this strategy, we have 3 parameters to optimize: RSI period, RSI overbought, and oversold, and RSI overbought. Whenever you optimize parameters, you try to optimize parameters one by one in circles. What it means that you optimize first parameter, try to find the highest net profit if you optimize it on net profit. Then start changing second parameter with the same goal to find the highest net profit value. Then third, after you finish third, then you go for another round of changes, RSI period, RSI period, and after that you keep doing these cycles until you can no longer optimize it. And now only after that you can say that you tried different values, you've been optimizing it in several cycles, and you did not find any parameters to increase the net profit. In that case, optimization is completed, and you would see if you achieved better net profit than, in this case, equity buy and hold return. So let's do that. As you see here, we have 350. Let's keep changing higher and lower RSI period, and to see if we can get better returns. Okay. To do that, you can just press on these buttons up and down, or you could just leave the cursor here and press arrows on the keyboard up, arrow up, and arrow down. I usually press the keys on keyboard because it's faster. Okay, so we change it higher, it's 350, 419, 48, 60, 62, 310. So we had here, as you see, highest was 419 for the 15. So let's go down and see if we can achieve anything below 126, 225. Okay, so the highest was over here in 15. 15, 419. Next, RSI oversold. So let's go higher. So we have 532, 609, 876, 36. Okay, so we had here 876 or something. 876. So let's check the lower. If we can get more than that. No, we cannot get more than that. Okay, so then 800 with something was our highest value. This one, 876. Okay, next parameter. So 876 is our highest net profit that we could get by optimizing first two parameters. Now let's optimize the last third parameter. Let's go higher. Oh, we got 921. We got 1062, 1040, 2700, 2800. Okay, so now they are not increasing here. Okay, so now let's check what parameter was there when we got the highest value. So 2. Okay, so this value 86 is highest, but let's check below 70. 86 is highest. 79. 79. You always want to make sure that you tested above the current value and below the current value of the parameter. So we're not getting the better values here, obviously. So 86. Okay, so we already see that by optimizing the first round, in the first round of optimizing all the parameters, we achieved that net profit is already 2,800. Now let's do another one. RSI period. Okay, we got 4,200. Okay, so okay, so this is the highest, 4,200. So let's Let's do this. 4,200. Okay, so we got high. We have 4,900 already. 52. 52, right? Okay. Okay, so we have 8,000, 8,700, 8,900, 9,400, 9,700, 15,000, 15,900, 51,000, 61,000, 61,300. Okay, so now it's dropping. Okay, let's keep it 70 then. So 70, and let's change this. 61,000. Okay, 121,000. Great. 193. 158. Okay, 200, 207. Okay, now it's dropping again. So then to the 90 is optimal. If we go below, no, it's dropping here. So 90 looks like 90 is the best parameter here. So let's check this out. RSI period. Let's go another cycle of optimizing the parameters. So okay, so it's dropping from 2000. So we start from 2000, from 207,000%. So if we go down, you see it's dropping. Okay. Now when you go higher, it's dropping too. So then this 11 is optimal. No, 12 is optimal. Okay, this. It does not change much. Okay, so then we'll keep it. If you change the parameter and values do not change, just keep the old one, or keep the old value. Okay, we change it for less values, it's dropping. We change it for higher values, it's dropping. Okay, it means that we found the optimal parameters for this strategy that gives us the highest return, which is 2,207%. So let's check the performance. So our strategy produces the return 207,000 approximately. The buy and hold is 140,000. So we made it 50% return higher by using this strategy, higher than buy and hold. It means that this strategy appears to be beneficial. Now, let's review the other parameters of the strategy. When you optimize the strategy, normally net profit is very important, but you need to keep an eye on other parameters as well. All these parameters are important. Some of them a bit higher, have higher importance, some of them less importance. For example, next parameter which I normally look at is the profit factor. Right? Profit factor is the parameter that basically, here is full explanation. This is the amount of money the strategy made for every unit of money it lost. gross profits divided by gross loss. Means, for example, if profit factor is 2, it means that for every lost dollar you made $2. That's what it means. So the higher the value, the better. Normally, I look for this value to be at least above 2. In this strategy, it's 1000, which is great. Next, very important, max drawdown. We get 69% drawdown, which is pretty high drawdown, right? However, this Ethereum cryptocurrency is very volatile, and its drawdown for that cryptocurrency could be 95%, much higher than this percent we got for this strategy. This cryptocurrency, this financial instrument is very volatile. And we have an average trade for how much how much is our usual average profit, which is 210%. Percent profitable, all of them 100% profitable, and the total number of trades is 7. So in this lesson, to summarize this lesson, I demonstrated how to create custom trading strategy using just one RSI indicator. In the trading strategies, normally when you put money on the line, you will use probably more than one indicator. Normally, to make robust and solid trading strategy, you would use more than one financial trading indicator. This is just an example how you can create custom trading strategy using only one indicator. And even with one indicator, I demonstrated that it's possible to generate profit higher than buy and hold for this financial instrument. Remember that created strategy, so there is no strategy that will be performing well for every instrument, and there is no instrument that you can apply to it like any strategy and it will work, right? So when you develop strategy, you need to keep in mind for which instruments, for which markets you're going to use it. For example, cryptocurrency are very volatile. For certain types of strategies are good for them. Trade stocks, less volatile. Many of stocks are in ranging. So they are ranging. They go up, go down, go up, go down. They're less trending. For those type of financial instruments, some other types of strategy will be beneficial. Now, to summarize this lesson, I want to say that it's important to know that backtesting that we just did is not a guarantee of future performance. It's just a way to get an idea how a strategy would have performed in the past. Also, it's important to consider the limitations of backtesting, such as survivorship bias, look-ahead bias, and market conditions change. In summary, this lesson discussed how to create custom strategies and backtest them using historical market data in TradingView. Backtesting allows you to simulate how a strategy would have performed in the past and can help you identify potential issues or areas for improvement before putting real money on the line. An example of creating a custom strategy that generates a buy signal when RSI is below certain level, and to generating sell signal when the RSI is above certain level was provided in this lesson. To backtest the strategy, you can use built-in backtesting feature in TradingView that I just demonstrated by selecting the strategy in the strategy tester, setting up backtesting parameters such as RSI period, overbought level and oversold level, and then running a backtest. Then optimizing these parameters one by one in certain rounds of optimization to find the very best set of parameter values when this strategy performs the best. Now, this is what have been covered in this lesson. And it's important to note that backtesting is not a guarantee for performance, and it has some limitations, and that you need to run certain tests and even forward tests, tested not on real money first before committing real money on the strategy.